I wish not. No, I really don't. When I say I wish you could listen to some of the other phone calls, because some people we can't even have a conversation with. Like they just, and I get it. They just want us to listen to them, cuss us, and everything else, and I understand. But I don't know. You don't come off as the same as the rest of them. You're probably one of about 3 people I've actually been able to have a conversation with, so I do appreciate that. So I don't know, and I don't know your situation with what happened there, but I'm not going to Monday quarterback why they wouldn't take a video if it showed, what you're saying. Clearly, I'm not there for whatever that situation was, but
yeah,
you don't come across like the other ones.
Well, I appreciate that, and I can tell you sometimes I probably am like the other ones. But I try and give you all a chance. The lady transferred me. She wanted a reason. I didn't give her one. She transferred me. You picked up. You were nice. You kind of get what you gave me. But yeah, I've definitely cussed out one of the local lieutenants. I've done some things that I think are both not justified and justified at the same time, depending on context. And once we start from a position of we're told we have property rights, while roughly 35-40% of your income is being taken away, and then it's being used to borrow on your wealth, not directly because you still have whatever, your house or your savings or whatever, but it's borrowed on a mass scale under government proxy. But once that falls through, it hits everybody directly. And that's the direction we're headed in. And it's scary stuff for people that are informed about what's really going on. And a lot of times when things like that start to fall, that's when more and more force is required. And that's where you all come in. And that's where the Nazi trials come in, and the values that came out of that someone in your position has an individual responsibility to the values as you understand them, and that you're not to follow orders that go against, certain core values that you took an oath to. But we find out that in your industry, unfortunately, whistleblowers that end up coming out end up getting weaponized against, and soon after they come out telling the truth, they no longer have a job, and then they're either in court fighting it, or they're just going to get screwed. And I saw it with the FBI that testified in Congress. 3 agents from the FBI testified, and how they were weaponized against these were whistleblowers, by the FBI. This is the reality we live in. And I tell my own local PD, I say, if you're working with the FBI, just remember, the Epstein victims said publicly they went to the FBI and the FBI did nothing about it. We saw how the FBI treated that investigation more like a cover-up. We look at what's going on with the Charlie Kirk investigation, and things ain't adding up. And it's at the law enforcement, FBI, and related levels. And so, I understand folks like you that say, you can't judge us all by the acts of some individuals, but there's a lot of individuals in your industry that are doing some really bad things. And I don't like to be someone that stereotypes, but I do believe in statistics. So if the statistics say I put my hand on a hot burner and 98% of the time I'm going to get my hand burnt, I don't want to be like, or whatever it is, racist or hateful against that burner. But hey, I ain't going to lie and say, hey, so it's the same thing. However you break down your stats, by race, by age, by gender, by hair color, by eye color, whether there's validity behind it or not, there's data and stats based on it. And based on the data and stats, it tells me that I should not trust the police. And when I do not trust the police, greater than 50% of the time, I'm going to be right to not have trusted them. And that's just what the data show me, and the number is much greater than 50%. I'm just using that as the example. But I appreciate you listening, sir. I'm all about an open dialogue, and that's what we just did. That's what we just had. And hopefully you understand that nobody's been held accountable, and that for someone that was able to talk with you on a man-to-man level, that shouldn't be accepted in a civil law-abiding society where some people can just violate rights and be held to near zero accountability. I appreciate you listening, sir. Maybe someday you'll be the chief and you put some changes to some of those things.
Don't wish that on me, bud. I don't know if I'm that today. Don't wish that one on me, sir.
No worries.
right, sir.
You have a good day.
I appreciate you having the conversation. Yeah, you too.
Yeah,
sir.
and if you see those employees that did that, you shame them. You shame them. Or at a minimum, you say, hey, I don't agree with what you did, but I know you're a good enough officer that you never do that again. But yeah, let's do, even though the system won't hold them to accountability, I can call in and volunteer this much of my time to reach out to you, and maybe through proxy you can reach out to them and say, hey, I listened to this intelligent guy. We had a good conversation. He made this point, and I thought it's valid that, maybe we did it an honest mistake or whatever. But, these rights that people care about, we just have to be really careful about them, because as they're neglected chronically on a national scale, it creates a dangerous situation. But I appreciate you, sir. I trust you do the right thing, whatever you do. And you sound like a great American.
I appreciate it.
Yep. Take care.
Hey, thanks, sir.